Hey you guys, what's up? I'm back with another video. Why dating to me, in today's generation anyway, is just not something I'm interested in. And also why I decided to just opt out of it and be single and celibate and child free and all the good stuff. Also, this video can be for people that don't know if they're in the middle of wanting to date or if they still need time to like be single. Pressure, societal norms telling you that you should get into a relationship and your family are hounding you for a grandchild. I hope those that are watching this video can relate to where I'm coming from. I'm going to give my perspective and my reasoning as to why I no longer date. And yeah, let's get into it. I've been in long term relationships, I've casually dated. Dating is not necessarily something that I think about doing as a leisure activity. I have a list. Sorry, I do. I have a list. And that list consists of things I will not compromise on, okay? I just won't do it. I'm child free, meaning I don't want children. Second of all, I don't want marriage. I've never been married. I don't desire marriage. I used to when I was literally conditioned to believe that worthy enough of being a wife, that means I've accomplished, something. And for some women, that is an accomplishment. Holding myself bound to someone for a long duration of time and making it a legal binding contract. The socialization of being a woman where you're told that you have to date, like you have to find your one, you got to go find them. Like looking for someone to fulfill something that I already pour into myself, it makes no sense. I don't care to be on dating apps. Whenever I hear women talking about, oh, I'm going on a dating app or I have this app that, I'm checking out, whatever, are you not afraid? Like, are you not scared of the men that are out here that are just, I wouldn't trust the dating website. The relationships that I ended up in being were pretty organic. Like, they weren't intentional where it was like, okay, I'm looking to date, I'm looking for my next man, and are you the one? Like, it was never really like that for me. I met them through a friend, through business or work or whatever, stuff like that. Like, it's never been like an intentional thing for me. So getting dressed up and going out and showing, my potential, I don't know, I just feel weird. If the intent of dating is to get to know someone, what happens after that? Are you going to all of a sudden tell this person that you're sitting across the dinner table from what you expect and what you're looking for and your desires? Or is it just a casual conversation over a nice meal? When men say, like, oh, I want to get to know you, outside of it being sexual relations, I don't know what you mean by that because eventually that's what it turns out to be. So, like, if you're not doing that, then it's strictly platonic. It's a friendship, right? It's not something that I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I have to be this certain way because they're expecting this and this and this. No, like, I am who I am. I like what I like and I don't like what I don't like. They put up a mirror and they start to like mirror what and who I am. And I'm like, don't do that. Like, if you're not a globetrotter, it's okay. If you don't have more than like three stamps in your passport, it's okay. If you don't like to do outdoor activities and you don't like to go to concerts spontaneously, and I've literally had men be mad when I told them that I was not compatible with them. And it's like, and they'll say, oh no, but we like this, we like, I'm like, yeah, that's like small things. Like, yeah, we might like the same artist, like taking road trips once in a while, but the fundamental aspects of who I am, we're not compatible and we never will be because we just simply have different views on life, you know? Like, I'm an atheist. Most likely, if I wanted to have a partner, they will be an atheist as well. It's just about compatibility. I don't want children. I don't want someone that has children or want children. I don't want marriage. I don't want someone that wants marriage or has been married before and still have this like weird attachment to their ex. Like shit like that. I'm just like, I don't have time for it. And I also don't like the love bombing stage and the honeymoon stage. It's so weird. I don't like the feeling of butterflies. Believe it or not, I don't. And I actually read a study that said that butterflies is actually not a good thing. It's actually your system warning you, your nervous system warning you that something is off. Um, but yeah, organic is more of my vibe. Like if I end up being friends with you, like intentionally looking for a man. No, I'm good. Like when I did feel like I needed a partner, because at one point in my life I was someone that would date back to back, and I didn't really have much time to be single. This is the longest I've ever been single. So I've had some clarity, and to reflect and look back on all of my past relationships and why they turned out to be the way that they were. Um, and a lot of the times, uh, it was due to mirroring. I wanted to be this cute girlfriend that, cooked dinner for my boyfriend, and, I paid for trips. We paid, literally, like, none of my exes can say that I was a bad girlfriend. Not fucking one. Not one. Not one. I would challenge them to get their asses in the comments and say something. But I was never, ever like someone that couldn't like compromise or be cooperative or negotiate on how the relationship should proceed for the benefit of both parties. I feel like dating is all about compromising, and I'm not willing to compromise much or anything at all about myself at this stage in my life. I like who I am. I like who I'm becoming. And when I was looking for a partner, I was looking for myself the whole time. So that was a self-realization of whatever I'm looking for in a partner, I should be able to supply all of that within myself. And a lot of times women are shamed for being child free or childless. And to be honest with you, I really don't give a fuck what people think when it comes to me being single or me being child free or me being an atheist or any of that shit or me being bisexual. I don't care. Like I never did. I'm so comfortable in my skin that like the idea of someone coming into my life trying to change shit around, it just wouldn't happen. It just wouldn't happen. And like I said, in order to be in a healthy relationship, you have to compromise a lot. I don't care what nobody says. There is some compromising involved when you are in a romantic relationship with another person. You can't just ignore someone all day if you don't feel like talking to them. You can't go without not remembering their birthdays, and like it comes with the responsibility. And I know a lot of people say it's not a good relationship if you're not comfortable in such relationship and stuff like that. But even in the most healthiest relationship dynamics, it's still work, and it's work I don't want to do. And um I still have community, I still have friends, I still have hobbies, I still do things that I love, and um I still fill my cup up with how I know how to do it, because no one else is going to treat me the way that I know how to treat myself. And that's period. Like, and if someone ever comes along and treats me better than I treat myself, well, that would be the day. Okay? That would be the day. But until then, ever since I've come to that conclusion of, yeah, I don't want to fucking do this shit. I don't want to date. I don't want to do any of this. I don't want to be told how to dress, how to wear my hair, how to do this, how to show up. Um I can be feminine and I can be a little bit masculine at times. I can be very just middle ground with how I show up in the world. And how I show up in the world is just simply that. And I don't want anyone thinking that, oh, well, you got to change this about yourself to be the full package of who I'm looking for. Fuck what you're looking for, because I already know what I'm looking for and I already found it. It's already within me. So, sitting across a dinner table in hopes of someone liking you, where you got to pretty much pitch yourself, um, yeah, it's just a weird vibe for me. It just is. Like, I'm not even going to hold you, but I'd rather have a really, really good friendship with people and grow with that person in a way that I appreciate them for who they are, and they don't have to change anything about themselves. They can just strictly be all the ins and outs, the ugly and the bad, and all of that. They can just simply be themselves and show up as they are, and I will do the same, and we will just fucking have a good time. Being someone that some people expect to be in a relationship or have children, I don't know why people put their shit on me. It's so weird. If it's for you, hey, if it's for you, if you're married or you're actively dating or looking for a partner, go on ahead, honey. but I'm only talking about myself and I can only speak for myself, you know? Like people say like, "Oh, everyone is selfish and everyone needs this or needs that when it comes to dating." And I'm like, "Yeah, people should be selfish to some extent, right? That's preservation. Also, having to have standards, boundaries, and expectations and all that in order can help navigate people finding someone that they are actually attracted to. Romance is a performance. So if you're going to show up to impress someone, you're literally performing. You're not going to keep up bringing flowers every week or every weekend. You're not Nick Cannon when he first started dating Mariah Carey. But right now, I'm just mentally not there. Like, I'm not mentally looking. You get what I'm saying? I'm not like, oh. And again, women are conditioned to always look at men as being the next potential husband or the next boyfriend that they like. And what I did was take a step back and say, this can be a pretty cool friend. This person can be, you know, my next buddy when it comes to hiking. We can go kayaking or whatever. Like, but we already know that due to socialization, it's really hard for some people to connect without it being about intimacy or romance. It's kind of like a hit switch. Like if I tell you like, "Oh yeah, no, like you're cool, you're attractive, I like you, you know, you got this going on, but I don't want to fuck you." And that will blow some people's minds. And I don't know why. Even if I wanted to have a romantic relationship with a man, I would not want to live with him. I would want my own bedroom. I would want my own bed because I can't do the whole snoring and the whole like I'm on my Whoopi Goldberg shit. Like I want to be able to walk around my place farting and shit. The more you know yourself, the more you know what you don't want. And that can intimidate some people because when you're so sure of yourself and you know your path and you know exactly what you don't want and who you don't want, etc., you stand in it and you're not going to budge on it. And that can turn off some people. But it's like, yeah, that's the point. I'm turning off the people I don't want. Like, duh. Like, yeah, I would say so. The idea of society trying to scare women into being in relationships and marriages is so outdated and it's just not really going to work for a lot of women because, again, women typically curate communities of with other women and are able to make friends and be there for each other in a way that I feel or I think is just not the same or compatible, or it's just not the same as when you're in a cis hetero relationship. Heteronormativity is real. So the mimic of what society believes, for me, as an example, to be and what to do. You need to get married. You need a kid. You need two kids. You need a house. You need a house with a garage. You need a house with a garage and a minivan. You need a dog. They're just gonna keep piling shit on top of each other as far as like what your purpose is and how you should move about things. And this can apply to men as well. Like men that opt out of dating or having intercourse or that are celibate or practicing it based upon their faith or whatever. I think is pretty fucking cool. Whenever I see child free men in like comment sections and stuff like that, I'm like, yeah, like stand in your shit. Like this is not just about women. I'm speaking about myself. I'm a woman, so but in general, like the idea of having to constantly date and date and date and date and date and date until you find the right person makes no sense to me. It just doesn't. The average marriage doesn't last more than like 8 to 9 years. Uh, People are getting divorced or breaking up before the child sees the eighth grade. Like things do not last the way that we have been propped up to believe that they do. Everyone has a season, and the idea of being single, I can navigate life way easier because I can choose. I can pick if I want to engage with this person or not, as much as I traveled and will continue to travel and have different experiences with different people and get to know myself even more and understand my body and my brain and how I feel and all those things to me is the exciting part of growing. And if someone ends up walking beside me along a journey, cool. If not, cool. I'm cool either way. You get what I'm saying? I'm cool on the other side of the pillow. All right. I'm cool as a cucumber. So, yeah, I just wanted to talk about my idea of dating and why I don't date. And probably why I probably never will actively date because, again, it's just a hobby. To me, it is. It's dating is a hobby. And it's a hobby that I just don't care to have. And so people are like, well, what happens if someone walks up to you and they show that, they're attracted to you and they want your number? I tell them straight up, I'm not looking for anything, and that I'm also celibate and that I'm just not interested. And I've had gone men say, oh, well, you haven't met the right person yet. You haven't met the right guy yet. Mm-mm-mm. And I'm like, you ain't one of them. Looking at him up and down. Yeah, you ain't him though. I can tell you that much. All right. Yeah. I get very irritated. I'm just a very nonsense type of person. So for me, like, I don't tolerate, like, a man would never be able to call me out of my name. He would never be able to yell at me. He would never be able to put his hands on me. He would never be able to control shit about me. He would never be able to tell me, oh, well, you need to tell me where you going and all this other stuff because I travel. And for those that don't know, when I was in my long term relationships, I was still traveling. Like, I was traveling solo. And again, it was because I picked a person that I knew would be understanding of my hobbies, which is to travel solo. That's non compromisable. And I don't know too many men out here that are comfortable with their lady traveling solo across the globe pretty often without any form of insecurities or doubt. You get what I'm saying? That I'm not saying that there aren't men out there that don't feel that way, that feels that way. I'm not saying that there aren't men out there that are secure when their woman travels with her friends or whatever, but on average, yeah, it's it's just, and the best way to express yourself is to be single. It just is what it is. So, but yeah, for those that are even in relationships, do not compromise who you are at your core, because just because you're in a relationship with someone doesn't mean that you have to compromise who you are as far as like your hobbies or your fashion or the way you talk, the way you walk, all that stuff. Like, don't compromise yourself and lose yourself in relationships, because you have to remember that when two people get together, you're still two individuals. You're still two individuals that decide to walk along a journey together in life and help each other out when it's necessary, and let someone fail when it's necessary, and let someone fall and let someone pick themselves up and be there to catch them when they fall as well. you know um the way that I view romantic relationships is very staged. You get what I'm saying? Because you have to play a role. Like, you have to be someone else's else. Like, you have to be someone else's. And I'm not saying in a possessive way, although there are people in relationships that are possessive of another person, which would never fucking roll with me. You know, that whole possessiveness, my, uh-uh. I'm nobody's. Even when I was in a relationship, I'm nobody's but me. You are my partner. You are my friend. You are someone that I trust and believe in, period. And we have occasional sex every now and then. You get what I mean? But I'm better when I'm single. Like, I'm more focused. I just don't believe in forever. And if it is forever, you're going to go through some hardships, and I don't want none of that. I want my life to be as simple and easy and straight to the point as much as I can help it. So, having another person that I have to uh do that with, it should be organic. Like I said, if it's not organic, I don't want it. And you already know organic is really expensive. The product is expensive. Yeah. If I can afford something for myself and you can't afford to do something for me, Yeah, we're not compatible. I've been in relationships where the guys could afford to take me out of the country or take me to do this, and I've done the same. Let me at least get to know you for a while. And then if it develops into something serious, into a relationship, then yeah, you know what I mean? It happens. But you can't help who you fall in love with, you know? But other than that, I'm not looking. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really, really need to thoroughly get to know someone before I even commit or do any of that. It's just, you got to be careful these days. You do. People are violent. Domestic violence is out of control in America right now. The femicide rate is out of control, especially for black women. The amount of black women being killed by her partner is insane. Um, so that's another concern of mine is safety. You just don't know whose ego is fragile. You just don't know who has never been told no. You know, you just don't know who's never been brought up to compromise and to look at things differently than what they're used to. Communication is also a big, big problem in romantic relationships. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because I'm an Aquarius, but I love communicating. Like, I communicate about everything. So that's never been a downside on my end. Like, I've always communicated my thoughts and my concerns, and I'm very open in that way. And that can make some people feel uncomfortable. You get what I'm saying? But I've been there, done that, got the coffee mug, got the t shirt, got on all the rides, know what the highest ride feels like. I already know what it's like to be in a relationship and be in a long term relationship, a long distance relationship. I know what it's like to be in a one sided relationship or a relationship that doesn't benefit me long term, you know. And I've broken up with people, I've been ghosted. Yeah, my longest term relationship, I was ghosted after 4 years. I know, how can someone ghost you after being in a relationship for 4 years? It happened. Um, so I have my ups and downs, you know, when it comes to dating and stuff like that and being in relationships, but it's again, it's not a priority. And I hope and I love the fact that society is now moving towards the idea that you don't have to be in a romantic relationship in order to be fulfilled. Um, because there are plenty of people that are in romantic relationships or, you know, and married that feel lonely, that feel single, that are actively single. You get what I mean? So people cheat, people lie, people are selfish, people are self centered, and that's in our nature, right? So even the idea of monogamy, I don't even know if that is something I would entertain just based off of how we're socialized. Again, remember, you can be monogamous, but it's not guaranteed that your partner will be, you know? And a lot of people are afraid of being honest about that, which brings me back to being friends first. When you're friends in a platonic relationship, you have more of the ability of being open about some real shit than you would if you're trying to impress someone or get into someone's drawers or in the bed and you want them to be hooked and sync lined into what your representative is showing them as opposed to who you really are. That's something that I've learned, and it's something that I take very seriously is please be who you are the first time. Do not let me discover certain shit where I'm like, oh, I didn't know you were like that, I didn't know you like that, da, da, da. Show up as yourself when you're going on dates with other people, and that's how you're going to get an authentic connection, not by bringing your representative at the dinner table and trying to impress someone because you don't want to waste a hundred, you know, $50 dinner date, or you don't want to, you know, lose the potential of sleeping with that person or whatever and never speaking to them again. The semantics of it all it's just insane. So yeah, I'm chilling, yo. It doesn't mean that I'm not still attracted to other people sexually. It doesn't mean that I don't find an interest, you know, in um what can be or what could be. I just don't act on it because I know it's not beneficial for me to do so right now in my life. So, um, but yeah, there are plenty of people. I'm going to meet awesome people. I'm going to always continue to meet awesome people because I'm awesome. I am. But also, like, I'm an outgoing person and I love talking and meeting people. So, the idea of monogamy and commitment right now in the stage of life is like, why would I do that? Like, I'm 33. I'm in my prime. I'm fucking living it up. I'm getting to know myself. I'm unapologetically myself. And so, yeah, it's just not my thing right now in life. And, you know, yeah, that's all. That's why I'm not dating. It doesn't mean that I'm never dating in the future. It doesn't mean that I'm never going to be in a romantic relationship ever again in my life. It just means that the idea and the culture, like dating culture, is just not for me. Constantly getting to know people back to back, even back then when I was in my 20s, when I wasn't in a long term, when I wasn't in a relationship, I didn't like it. I didn't like constantly meeting up with new men all the time because I'm like, that's increasing my chances of being harmed. I'm sorry I think like that. But if you see the statistics out here, it's crazy. It's crazy. It is. Dating is not so safe these days. It just isn't. People political views are on 10. Women's rights being taken away by male voters. It's very telling how a lot of men view women in today's climate with misogyny and the patriarchy, and it's just a mess. And I don't want no parts of it right now. So, but yeah, I still got my homeboys, I still got my male friends, and we still could kick it. They don't look at me in a certain way. But yeah, that's it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Peace, love, and happiness. Smiley said it, and I'm out.